So I want to start out talking about blueprint for this God power. You know, we're going through this DNA upgrade and everything's happening. I have a question for y'all to get started, and we're gonna get into the workshop and everything. But I want to start everything out with a question. I want to ask y'all. I hear both of y'all talk about and our cells. We have over 70 trillion cells, a whole bunch of cells within our body, and these are sentient beings. These cells are alive. When we say affirmation, since we're all working on this blueprint for God power and being the greatest versions of ourselves, should we say, you know how like DJ Khaled says, we the best? If we are a community instead of one person, when we say affirmation, shouldn't we say we the best like DJ Khaled instead of saying I'm the best, since we're all like a community? Does it make more sense? We have all these cells working for us. They're listening to us, and we're the chief. And they're like, Chief, what we do next? We tell them what we do, and then we take all the credit for it. It's like Steve Jobs being at Apple and said, "I did it, guys. I did it." Are we like sabotaging ourselves by saying I instead of we when we're saying these affirmations?
That's a good question. I don't know if we're sabotaging ourselves, but you do bring up a very good point that it is a collective that is participating in this, in your positivity and also in your negativity. Because, but one thing we have to remember is that the consciousness is real, and that the avatar body is running on coded programming. And so, you know, each and every cell is definitely sentient because every atom is sentient. And what's animating those atoms, what's making them vibrate? Consciousness. So at the end of the day, it's still consciousness that is animating this whole thing. And so by saying I am, it still encompasses the whole of the avatar plus combination of the consciousness. I don't think it's bad in any kind of way. Although I must admit, saying we, but consciously understanding you're talking about we, meaning us together collectively, have achieved something or capable of achieving something. That's phenomenal. And that thing that DJ Khaled came up with, that saying, that's, you know, that term, we the best. If he really is referencing we, meaning himself and every cell in his body, that's powerful. So you can alternate, you know, between I am and we, as long as you're referencing your total whole self. But remember, the consciousness is being streamed in from a higher dimension to animate this avatar body. The avatar body is then receiving programming code, not only from the environment, but also from the biological body itself through hormones and everything else. Hormones are nothing but like a microwave that goes to your cell phone. It piggybacks a signal that your phone decodes. Hormones are secreted by glands, and piggybacking on those hormones are program codes that go to your cells. You know, so the two things are kind of separate, but still can work hand in hand. But everything in the universe, as you stated, is definitely conscious.
And you know, it's interesting that the I thing has been so strong, especially for the last 6,000 years, really the last 2,000. Me, I. Yeah. It's been about competition, me. And I think this comes out of the whole Roman concept that, you know, it's about one, you know what I'm saying? And a few people controlling everything, and or what I'm doing is the most important. It's about me. It's not about you. But that division, right, by it happening in your environment and by you hearing it over and over, you get caught up in the division. And if you really want to control the people, you separate them. You see, you keep their minds focused on, you know, things outside of them instead of what's inside of them. And what's inside of you is a universe. You are part of an omniverse. We're part of an orchestra or an orchestra. We're not playing a solo instrument here. It's not about you. And, you know, and even as a kinesiologist, what I find is when we do the muscle testing, when we say things like I am, it's kind of soft. It's kind of soft, but kind of strong. But when that muscle is strong is when you say we. When you say we, now it's not about just you. It's about your tribe, your planet. It's about tapping into the oneness of the universe, because this whole thing that we think that it's just us. It's just this body. It's just this life. You only live one life. You know, I keep telling, well, how do you know we only live one life? Where do you get that from? You know, most of these sayings that we have has been drilled into your head, and that repetition, right? Repetition, of pleasure and pain, repetition of certain words, certain word constructs. Those things create energy. And the liquid in your body, right, is hearing every single vibration. And check it out. It's not even necessarily the words, because most folks don't even know what English words really, how they're derived and how they hit the body and the vibration that they hit. You see, your words do matter. They hit material. They make material. Your words are your thoughts that are waving into the quantum field. And after a while, that repetition is going to bring back something. And if it's only about you burn out. But when you start saying we, and even I found what's even stronger than saying I am is we allow. We allow, because I am is work involved. I got to be this. I got to wake up every day. I got to think. I got to do. I got to work. It's going to be hard because you were brought up in the language of struggle. Ever since a child, you were listening to this in the womb. How hard it's going to be. It's going to be tough getting a job, boy. It's going to be tough getting married. It's going to be tough getting fired. The language of struggle is so strong.
Yeah.
But what you will find is when you step into this zone, when you step into the flow state, it becomes easy. It becomes simple. You see, but a lot of times we got to have something happen to us before we wake up to this fact that we are part of a system. And when we tap into that system, the system works with us.
I wanna share. I just posted the link, and I want y'all to tell the people y'all got something real special coming up on January 7th. Family, this has got to be. And talking to both of you, Billy, I had the opportunity. Dr. B's in Georgia as well. Yeah. He's a music producer. He done produced for. I actually heard a song he produced for the Osley brothers.
Wow.
Ron Osley. I was listening to some vocal. I don't know if I should say this. Am I allowed to say that? It's too late now, right?
It's too late now.
It's too late, man.
I was listening to a song he produced for Ron Osley.
Yeah.
Can I say the name or
no? Don't say.
Okay, don't say. But I'm just excited. That's what.
No black helicopters today. Man.
Yeah. But I was listening to the song and I'm like, wow, this brother's so talented. And I'm watching the acoustics in the room. This brother, when it comes to frequency and cymatics and all of that stuff, man, this brother is on it. So we got 3 music producers putting something together. My brother Billy, myself. Ain't that something? You never thought about that? It's 3 music producers putting this together.
Amazing.
So, family, this has to be like the best workshop I've ever offered to the public, and I'm extremely proud of it. And I may say that a year from now, but right now, the present time, this is definitely my best workshop I have ever offered to the public, and I'm extremely proud to present to y'all Blueprint for Black Power. And I want y'all to tell the people this is happening January 7th. It's an 8-hour workshop. Dr. B is opening up the first 4 hours. Billy's closing out the last 4 hours, and we might do some Q&A after that. You just never know what we're gonna do. But they're gonna get all types of treats. This is the perfect timing for the energy that's hitting the planet at this time and everything that's happening at this time on the planet. Could y'all tell the people what can they expect for this Blueprint for Black Power workshop that's happening January 7th in the year of the 7, 2023?
That's right. Well, it's going to be a powerful workshop. I'm bringing a lot of new topics that I haven't really discussed before, things that kind of have been holding back until I thought enough people were ready. So I'm going to be digging deep into, we're going to touch on the financial literacy, but before I talk about that, we're going to talk about the sacral chakra and how to turn that energy from the sacral chakra into crown chakra energy and how to use that to manifest into your life. Going to learn how to use your own energetic field to actually create healing, not only for yourself, but to be able to heal others. I'm going to explain the science behind it. It's not woo-woo. It ain't magic. How does it work? How does each cell in your body have 0.007 millivolts of electricity? And how do you harness and access that power that's already inside of your body? You have trillions of volts of electricity in your body, and you can actually utilize that to help heal, which is very important. Also, how to rewrite your epigenetic code. As you know, we've talked about it before. Epigenetics is huge right now. 20 years ago, it got scoffed, got laughed at. Now it's being taught in all major universities and genetics classes. And so we found out that epigenetics are real and that we have 15 to 20 years of stored memories inside of our body, passed down through the RNA. Now they even found some passed down through the mother's side. Before primarily it had been believed only to be the father's side. Now, the deeper they go, the more they find. Now we find the mother side as well. And so I'm going to be doing actual interactive work with the people that are watching to get them to start the process live while we're actually in the workshop in order to help them reprogram and delete negative epigenetics directly out of their body. And then, we're going to talk about learning how to become self-sufficient. That's going to be.
You officially did it? You got it? You did it already?
Damn, I am my own bank. You already know me, man. I don't play no games.
Yeah.
I don't play. When it's time to take action, if you look up action in the dictionary, you're going to see my face next to it. I'm not playing no games out here.
So you talking about that in the workshop, how to become your own bank.
Become your own bank. Also, I'm going to dig deep into how to build a legacy. How do you become a legacy builder? See, I only focus on, and you know this, Brother Rich, I only focus on building legacy. That's my main focus. I'm not worried about nothing else. I'm not worried about my bills for next week, how the light bill going to get paid out. You know why? Because if you focus on building legacy, all your bills are covered. If you focus on building legacy, abundance is guaranteed along the way. So I'm going to teach people how to build legacy, but not just how to build a legacy. How do you learn how to build wealth and legacy that will last for generations? In other words, once you build something, how do you hand that thing off to the next generation and don't let them screw it up? There has to be situations in place. There has to be rules in place, laws that you create for your family in place through a trust. So we're going to talk about setting up the trust. We're going to talk about the rules and regulations to be able to access that legacy fund, whether you pass away, whether you're whether you're still alive. And we're going to talk deep about the life insurance policies and how to create the right type and how to be able to use that to fund projects and fund things for yourself, lending money to yourself without a credit check from your own policies.
It's something we definitely got to take serious. Like I said, it's so much in this workshop, family. I'm proud. Like I said, this is the absolute best workshop that I've managed to put together in this, and it's such an incredible way to end the year. Dr. B, could you tell the people what can they expect from you? Billy's bringing the financial, some spiritual. Could you tell the people what could they expect from you with this workshop on January 7th? And for those interested, it's pinned at the top of the chat, and it's also in the description bar. It's an 8-hour workshop. Just to let you know, before Dr. B talks, it's an 8-hour workshop. Dr. B will talk for 4 hours. Billy will talk the next 4 hours. And everybody who attends the day of the workshop, you will get 2 ebooks on the day of for the class. One from Billy Carson while he talks, one from Dr. B Sirius while he talks. So you're gonna have a workbook for class with Billy Carson, and you will have an ebook for class for Dr. B Sirius. So it's gonna be an awesome time. It's virtual. Anybody could attend. Everybody who signs up, you have lifetime access. You will have it forever. There will be a chat room. We could talk to each other. And as time goes along, we're going to include other perks. We just worked this out. Came to my mind. I had to holler at them. This is straight from the spirit. This is straight from the quantum world. Straight from the quantum world in a meditation I had. And I appreciate Billy and Dr. B for signing up. Family, it's what a way to start out 2023. Dr. B, tell the people what can they anticipate.
First of all, I'd like to salute you, Brother Billy.
Hey, thank you, brother.
It's amazing how, how many paths we cross, how much information is coming from the same place in different ways.
Yes.
Interesting, in the late 1980s, early 1990s, I was at the top of the game in hip hop on the West Coast. In fact, my company, we did the very first gold and platinum hip hop records. I was behind the whole scene, and I got with all the producers that popped up at the time and artists. I said, look, here's what we need to do. One, we need to start a bank. I had a big meeting. I called everybody to the meeting. I gave them food. Everybody rolled up with their cars with $100,000 rims that kept spinning even when we was in the meeting. You know what I'm saying? Hairdos, Jerry curl grease. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And I said, listen, we got to start our own bank. They said, what are you talking about? I said, let's start our own bank. We could each take like $2 million. I said, it's like 20 people in the room. Let's take $1 million. And so, what are you talking about? I said, man, come on. They loaning out 100,000. You put 1,000 in the bank. They loan out 9,000 a promise. And they're clocking this money 24% or more every 24 hours using your money. Why don't we do that? So we could actually have, they looked at me and said, oh man, you done lost your mind. Now here was the piece that really did it. I said, let's start our own distribution company at the same time. They said, what distribution? Is you crazy? I said, look, mail trucks. We can back of people's cars. We had station wagons back then. Station wagons, vans. We get with all the independent record stores. Man, you done lost your mind. They ain't gonna let us do that. Who not gonna let us? They don't even know nothing about what we do. They don't even care about this little bit of money.
Yeah.
But the thing was that because there's so much information, so people have so much mass distraction going on in their head, and they don't believe in what's truly inside of them to do.
Right.
You see, now that as Billy's talking, I'm like, wait a minute, I ain't gonna be able to wait till January. I got to go. I'm driving down to Florida. I got this car. I ain't even putting no miles on this car. You let me drive down to Florida and hang out with this man, because there's so much information that we have to pull together. So one of the things I'm going to be talking about is how to tap into your divinity code, your own personal God power network. Well, what is that? See, we've been looking up and praying and shaking hands for so long and waiting to be saved. We don't realize that it's inside of us, inside of every cell. Inside of every cell is the master intelligence of it all.
Yep.
The Akasha and all that's not out there. It's inner space, as above, so below. You see, so while you're waiting to be saved, you haven't tapped into the divinity code inside of every cell that's waiting for you to appear. And opportunities keep knocking on your door every day, right? And they don't go away. They go to somebody else because somebody else says, listen, it's time. You have to put yourself in the position to be ready. You can't wait for somebody to tell you. You can't wait for your homies and your family, because they're going to tell you you're crazy. Heck, you done lost your mind. You done messed up the family meal talking about we could be wealthy. You know darn well they ain't going to let us. It's always about what they ain't going to do. Who are they? We are the they. The they that you're talking about, we taught. And the enemy you talking about is in you. I remember I went to this top secret meeting. It was all in a special place, Oh, man, this is a top secret Black Power meeting, man. We got to the meeting, and all they talked about was the enemy for an hour and a half. I had to leave. I said, who is this enemy? Well, they see right now, they listening, and there's agents in the room. I said, let me tell you, y'all are the agents.
Thank you.
Most people don't realize that they are the secret agents, because you've been programmed. You done saluted the flag too many times. You done believed in the news. It's the same news been on forever. The news ain't changed. Well, you heard about it. It's the same news.
Same thing.
I remember Walter Cronkite, and that's the way it is. And you believe it. You believe that's what happens. But what's happening inside of us is amazing. And right now, the God Power Network, which is basically connected to the unified field and the mycelium network, is actually ready and waiting for you to ride and be anywhere at any time. Once you arrive at the place of saying, I'm ready, and get out of your head, because we've been so deep into consciousness and filling our heads with knowledge. I mean, come on, we know what time the pyramid was built, who was there, who put in the last brick. Okay, do you have a garden? Are your bills paying themselves? Is your money making money for you? That's what I ask. Well, no, see what the man. See, now the man's back. Who is the man? You have to be in demand. Make yourself the lighthouse. When you tap in, and there is a specific technique that I'm going to teach you that works. I have helped 14 people, right? Me and my partners have helped 14 people become multi-millionaires. I tell them, I need you to do exactly what I need you to do. Like when I met Dick Gregory, he said, you're going to do what I tell you to do. This is 1996. What am I going to do, Mr. Gregory? Whatever I tell you to do.
That sound like him. That sound like him.
That's him. Don't ask me no questions. And let me tell you something. The greatest journey I had in my life was with my 13 mentors. I've had 13. I know when I went outside at 14 years old, there was this thing in the sky. What the heck is that? Everybody saw it, but people just were like, nothing. I said, no, I'm getting a message here. It's telling me I'm not the same. Tap into self, and then you tap into the people in the universe that are just like you, who are vibrating on that frequency, because you attract what you vibrate on. So we're going to talk about what this material is and how to program it so that your next 365 days are yours. You own it. You're in control. You become the captain. You got to be the CEO. You got to know who's on your ship. See, some of you is riding on a ship and the ship is just floating. It's just in the wind. You don't know when you wake up and look at the news and let them tell you where we're floating. Are you crazy? You got to be the captain. The captain knows what? The destination. And they know why we're getting to this destination. You can't wake up and tell your crew, get on the, you get on the speaker. Hey crew, now hear this. It's rough out there. It's a, I read the news today and it's a war and it's the crew is listening. That's your cells. That's yourselves. Yourselves. Your collective self is listening to the captain, and the captain don't sound too good. Captain sound. The crew is just like, oh boy, here we go again.
Here we go.
Let's burn up a few. Let's kill them. Telomeres start dying. You know what I'm saying? Your digestion gets off. You start making too much acid because the body thinks there's a saber-toothed dog or something out there. The body don't know that you just got a bad pimple and you don't want to go to work. It's vibrating in the ocean. There's 7 oceans in the body that are listening. So when that captain gets on their mic and says, now hear this. Now hear this. This is your captain speaking. With that honor, with that power, with that nobility. And the captain only talks about the destination. Don't talk about the earthquake that might happen on water. How many times do earthquakes happen? Well, there could be a tsunami and there's, the giant, saber-toothed dogs and, but there's a sea breeding alligators out there. You can't tell your crew, you can't tell your body that because it's listening. So you're dying, you're killing yourself. And then you begin to eat with nutritional suicide. You eat yourself to death, thinking yourself to death. Intimately, you're making love out of what the things that are, it's just you're creating more of a trash heap. So we're going to talk about how to use this power to become the captain. Next thing we're going to talk about is your personal gold mine blueprint. Did you know you got a gold mine? Somebody else knows this. Somebody knows when you was born, what you weighed, and somebody got some money. Somebody got some power from you because they created a corporation. Now, we're not going to get too deep into that because we don't want no trouble from the black helicopters. But what we got to do is we got to learn how to wave cast. Wave casting is when you send information into the quantum field, which is just waves. It's just potential. And you do it repetitively over and over, no matter what you're seeing, no matter what the evidence around you looks like, you keep casting these waves. And guess what? They will return because most of what you have, you created. You're talking like when I talk to a lot of my clients, they for the whole hour, they're talking about the drama, what they don't want. Well, Dr. B, I don't want cancer and I don't want to get diabetes and I don't want to have these herpes outbreaks anymore. And I don't want to have my diabetes, which runs in my family. I'm like, because we're talking about what we don't want, we attract it. Only thing we need to focus on is what we desire. And we're going to talk, there's a specific technique.